A man accused of sexual abuse goes to jail. A meat cooler catches fire inside of Lynn's, and Iron County's very own Dancing with the Community Stars.
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Amy Bennett. A man who was accused of forcible sexual abuse of a minor was recently sentenced to jail on November 7th. Here's Cody Blowers with more on the trial.
A Hurricane man, 32-year-old Pedro Jaramillo, appeared in 5th District Court in St. George last week, where he was sentenced on one second-degree felony count of forcible sexual abuse during a hearing held before District Judge Jay Winward. The defendant had entered a no-contest plea to the charge during a resolution hearing held weeks earlier. The defendant was represented by defense attorney Ryan Stout, while prosecutor Jerry Jager appeared on behalf of the state. The case came to light initially in March of last year when the Hurricane Police Department received a report that a teenager had been sexually abused by the suspect starting at the age of 16 to 17 years old. During an interview, Jaramillo reportedly told police that he started their relationship with the victim when she turned 18, but denied any prior relationship. From there, the case was marred by evidentiary issues, several of which came to light during a preliminary hearing held earlier this year. The judge ultimately ordered that Jaramillo be sentenced to serve 364 days in jail in Washington County, followed by 4 years probation. He also ordered the sentence to begin immediately, and the defendant was taken into custody at the close of the hearing.
Thanks, Cody. The Dove Center is running out of space for domestic violence survivors, and with the current housing market in southern Utah, it's leaving a lot of people stranded. Here's Chris Reed with more on the story.
Even as the Dove Center is helping victims of domestic violence get back on their feet, the Dove Center itself is in need of help. Officials of the St. George nonprofit that helps give shelter and help to women, men, and children who are domestic violence victims say the center needs more room to house some of them. That isn't necessarily room for those in the most crisis and danger, but those who are beyond that time but still need transitional housing to get back on their feet. The center is hoping a combination of fundraising from the general public and governmental and corporate contributions will allow them to double their current space of transitional housing.
Thanks, Chris. The proposed highway that was set to be built through the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve is triggering some scrutiny. Here's Maury Kessler with the clash between conservationists and the advocates for the road.
The public will again be able to comment on the proposed Northern Corridor thanks to a federal judge's recent ruling. The Bureau of Land Management announced Wednesday evening that it will be holding a new scoping period for the Northern Corridor to create a new study for the road's right-of-way and its potential impacts. This comes after U.S. District Judge Amy Barnum Jackson ordered that a review of the Northern Corridor and related elements be conducted by the BLM and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The judge made the ruling based on the BLM not following certain federal procedures related to historic artifacts and sites that may be impacted by the construction of the Northern Corridor. Environmental groups involved in the lawsuit are happy that the ruling makes the agencies reconsider their approval of the Northern Corridor, which they see as a threat to the Mojave Desert tortoise and its habitat. Washington County officials aren't necessarily pleased with the ruling, yet appreciate that the judge ordered a review process for the Northern Corridor instead of striking it down outright.
Thanks, Maury. The Lynn's Fresh Market grocery store in Hurricane was evacuated on Thursday after a meat cooler caught fire. Firefighters arrived at the scene and evacuated all of the customers and employees from the market. Fire Captain Tyler Ames said that the sprinkler system did its job, putting out most of the fire, and that his crew was there to make sure the fire didn't spread to any other parts of the building. Overall, the fire caused an estimated $10,000 in damages to the store. Over $85,000 was raised for the Iron County Children's Justice Center as organizers put on their own rendition of Dancing with the Stars. Here's Jeff Richards with more on the event.
Hundreds of people filled the Heritage Center Theater in Cedar City Tuesday evening to watch community leaders dance through the decades. The fundraiser featured 8 competitors, each of whom was paired with a professional dancer. Wrapping up the evening's lineup was Cordell Morris, winner of the People's Choice Award, who teamed with Brooke Randall for the hip-hop number Get Low. Organizers said the event raised more than $85,000 on behalf of the Iron County Children's Justice Center.
Thanks, Jeff. And now to Cannon with some exciting news on local sports.
Thanks, Amy. And congratulations to the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs on winning the 4A State Football Championship. The Mustangs beat the Green Canyon Wolves earlier today 33-0. It was an incredible ending to another great high school football season. Now back to you, Amy.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Amy Bennett with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.